Happy holidays, everybody! Last year I looked at a bunch of Christmas specials that aired on Cartoon Network that I happened to grow up with. However, my media palette is super limited, especially when I was a kid. The world of animated Christmas specials is vast beyond the most iconic stuff, or just what a single TV network aired every year. And my review for a streaming service contains a lot of specials. It's a joint payment between me and Little Chico. He pays in treats. There's many specials out there that I either didn't grow up with or just have never heard of, and for the past few years, some of my friends have been showing me some great ones. So that's what we'll be discussing today. Some underrated Christmas specials that you should check out to get into that nostalgic feeling. My knowledge on the shows these come from do vary, so pardon if I get some details about them wrong, but hey, feel free to suggest some specials in the comments and I'll check them out in other years.
Ho, ho, ho.
Dan Versus is fucking awesome.
I don't care who the IRS sends, I am not paying taxes.
Airing in 2011 on the Hub, this was the most out-of-place show on the network, airing alongside shows like Strawberry Shortcake, Care Bears, Pound Puppies, and most notably My Little Pony.
Pinkie Pie!
Being a show centered around a jerk who wants revenge on every little thing in life that wrongs him, this show was bound to fall into obscurity. Ignoring the shows it was next to, it was on a channel where you needed rich people cable right before streaming took off, but I always loved it. It's dark, sadistic, and hilarious. And its Christmas special, Dan vs. Mall Santa, showcases this well. Heck, here's the first line of the episode.
Mrs. Claus is still very bitter about the divorce.
A lot of the show's humor is basically on that level. So the plot is that Dan and his friend Chris get jobs at the mall's Christmas village. Dan mainly to get money for his cat, cause yes, this cynical man loves his cat, damn it.
And I need to buy a Christmas present for you-know-who.
And they have to deal with a grumpy asshole of a mall Santa who doesn't even like or celebrate Christmas. What's funny right away is that Dan, despite being a big jackass himself, believes in the Christmas spirit. Enough to call this guy out for it.
But it sounds like you actually believe in Santa Claus?
Of course I do! Read your Bible!
I always forgot how funny this show is whenever I revisit it. Needless to say, Dan wants revenge on him and thinks of a variety of plans to try and off him. Yes, really. There's also a subplot where Chris's wife Elise has to stop this criminal guy going by the Snowman who's incognito. Yes, she's a secret agent. Yes, this show is that off the wall. This show's humor, as I've probably shown, is very cynical and dark. The jokes become extra funny in a Christmas episode and it doesn't hold back on anything.
You, sir, reek of eggnog! You are a disgrace to the uniform!
Dan is pretty much trying to off the small Santa. For example.
And I think killed is an overstatement.
Again, it's one of those shows. Also, the reason why he hates Christmas isn't even some deep backstory or anything. It's just...
When I was a kid, Santa never got me the Sergeant Saskatchewan action figure I wanted.
Yep, he's just salty. As an aside, the toy in question just looks like a Canadian Crimson Chin. So if you want some cynicism this time of year, check this episode out. Also binge the whole show, it's quite a sleeper. Now on to something quaint. So Garfield is one of the most iconic comic characters. Jim Davis's character has been eating lasagna, hating Mondays, and entertaining for many generations. Garfield has had a lot of movies and shows over the years, the most iconic of these probably being Garfield and Friends from the late 80s. It's always what I thought of when thinking of him in animated form at least. Yeah, I was never into the franchise. It wasn't anything against him, I was just more of a Calvin and Hobbes kind of guy. But that one doesn't have an animated Christmas special, so here we are with Garfield's Christmas, which, fun fact, actually predates the Garfield and Friends show by a year. After a wild dream sequence featuring John Arbuckle as an elf on shelf and Garfield getting more for Christmas than Hazel McGee, we learn that it's Christmas Eve morning and John's taking Garfield and Odie to see his family. Right away, one thing the special does really well is get that feeling of Christmas nostalgia down perfectly. I don't just mean, say, a Christmas special you watched, but various traditions your family would have on the day. They even have a song about it.
Dad would chop down the tree.
Chores.
Mom would fix up the meal.
Work.
Garfield's snark during it makes it even better, and a lot of the special is like this, mostly just depicting what it feels like to see your relatives for Christmas. One example I'd like to highlight is when John and his brother try to wake their dad up for presents at 1:30 in the morning. It's small, but that is just super real, made extra funny by the fact that these two are adults.
Anytime after midnight is technically Christmas morning, you know.
Go to bed.
The episode itself is pretty light on plot. Most of it is basically the Arbuckles doing Christmas stuff while Garfield provides his excellent commentary.
Attentive service, excellent cuisine. However, the decor leaves something to be desired.
Also, I'm not the biggest expert on Garfield, but some of the stuff he says is just so out of pocket.
Whoever invented Christmas trees should be drug out into the street and shot.
I'm not even sure if you could say this on a kid's show today. The big highlight for me is Garfield and John's grandma. She's a super fun, sassy granny with really bouncy animation, and Garfield grows fond of her really fast.
Let's go finish dinner.
I can see Grandma and I are going to get along just fine.
We even get this emotional scene where she talks with Garfield about how great her deceased husband is. The music and atmosphere of this scene is just a chef's kiss.
Sometimes I wake up in the night and I can still feel his strong arms around me.
This leads to a really cute ending that I won't spoil. Not much else to say, so enjoy Odie getting his back scratched. So I'll admit, I wasn't that into superheroes growing up. Sure, I'd watch shows like Ben 10 and the original Teen Titans, but I was never, super obsessed, and my ADHD ass could barely pay attention to their more serious episodes. So because of that, I missed out on some peak shows, like the Justice League cartoon. The DCAU is probably one of the best portrayals of these heroes, and their Christmas episode titled Comfort and Joy does a great job of portraying a more festive side of them. So after the Justice League do Justice League stuff, they all split off into 3 holiday subplots neatly wrapped in a bow. I'll explain them while spoiling as little as possible. Flash visits an orphanage and goes on a quest to obtain this really hard-to-get toy for the children. Somehow Furbies are still creepier. Flash is such a swell guy here with how much he'll go to the ends of the earth to please these kids.
Tell me where those guys went and I promise to come see you in the hospital. We'll play darts. The soft kind.
And the way they look up to him is just so wholesome. Speaking of wholesome, the other subplot starts with Green Lantern and Hawkgirl having a snowball fight. Just simple bliss with a wonderful atmosphere until Hawkgirl takes them to this planet where the tone completely shifts to an alien bar fight. Okay, I can't not spoil everything, cause that's just great. It has a sweet ending, though. And the third plot is Superman taking Martian Manhunter to spend Christmas with his parents in Smallville. It's similar to that Garfield special where it captures that feeling of seeing a relative for the holidays and reliving your childhood. Manhunter here also stays in Supergirl's room where you find out she's quite the Wile E. Coyote fan. Hope you enjoy Coyote vs. Acme. The best part of this one is just seeing how Manhunter adjusts to this. He's not used to the holidays and doesn't quite get it, but seeing how hospitable Clark's parents are is really sweet.
My name is Jean. I'm a Martian.
Oh, we're no strangers to aliens in this house.
We don't allow anyone to visit for the holidays without taking a present home with them.
But I brought no gift for you.
The whole special's best aspect is, like the Garfield one, the atmosphere. The background music in it is top-notch. It's got a bit more plot than the Garfield one, but you sort of get a different feeling with each plot. A feeling of urgency with Flashes, excitement with Green Lantern and Hawkgirls, and wholesomeness with Supermans. It wants you to feel all the positive emotions while watching it. Even though I'm not as familiar with these characters, I end up feeling for the struggles they go through and get a good read on their personalities. It does give you, as cheesy as it sounds, comfort and joy. But hey, cheesiness is fine around the holidays. Be as corny and cringe as possible. It's all about the festive cheer in this forest that once again had a green Christmas. I need to up the budget and add to that. I got a webcomic to fund. Anyways, happy holidays and hope for another year of screaming about anime.